In 774, a major conflict broke out in the Saxon Shore region of Brittany, France. This was the period when the Carolingian Empire, under the leadership of Charlemagne, was attempting to expand its territory and consolidate its power. The region of Brittany, with its important strategic position, became the target of attacks from many sides, including the Saxons and other peoples. The Saxons, under the command of native leaders, repeatedly carried out raids into Carolingian territory, causing instability and challenging Charlemagne's authority. To deal with this threat, Charlemagne decided to launch a large-scale military campaign to destroy the Saxon bases at the Saxon Shore. Charlemagne mobilized a strong army consisting of battle-hardened Frankish soldiers, fully equipped with weapons and armor. He established a large military camp near the Saxon Shore, where military units trained and prepared for attack. Tactics were carefully planned, including the use of warships to prevent Saxon sea reinforcements. Charlemagne made detailed plans, including using the local terrain to his advantage. He also linked up with local leaders in the Brittany region to receive the necessary support. Meanwhile, the Saxons were no less prepared, fortifying their defensive positions and placing armies at strategic points to slow down the Frankish advance. The first clash between the Franks and the Saxons took place on the Saxon Shore. The Frankish army attempted to break through the Saxon defenses, but met strong resistance. The Saxon warriors, trained and fought in the local environment, fought with great determination. However, under the talented command of Charlemagne, the Frankish army quickly found weak points in the Saxon defense. They used catapults and crossbows to attack from afar. Combined with the infantry, they advanced to destroy the enemy's strategic positions. The battle was fierce and lasted for many days, with continuous attacks and counterattacks from both sides. Despite many difficulties and losses, Charlemagne and his army did not give up. They continued to attack with perseverance and clever tactics. Finally, after many days of intense fighting, the Frankish army succeeded in breaking down the last Saxon defenses. Frankish soldiers stormed the Saxon bases, creating a scene of chaos and bloodshed. The Saxon warriors were forced to retreat and taken prisoner. This victory strengthened Charlemagne's position on the Saxon Shore and laid the foundation for his domination of Brittany. Charlemagne's tenacity and excellent command proved effective in dealing with the raids and defending the territory of the Carolingian Empire. After his victory, Charlemagne established firm control over the Saxon Shore. He reorganized the government and established military facilities to ensure security and prevent any future attacks. Charlemagne also enacted new policies to stabilize the region, including the construction of defensive structures and the establishment of permanent military units. The remaining Saxons were forced to submit or leave the area. This occupation was not only a military victory, but also an important strategic step in consolidating and expanding Charlemagne's power. New settlements were established, and trade began to grow under the protection of the Frankish army. Despite their defeat at the Saxon Shore, the Saxons did not completely give up hope. They continued to organize small protests and carry out raids on Frankish positions. Charlemagne faced sporadic uprisings and constantly reinforced his army to maintain control. Although these wars were not as big as the original battles, they still caused many difficulties for managing and protecting the area. Charlemagne had to constantly adjust his strategy and develop new measures to quell uprisings and ensure long-term security. His steadfastness and determination helped maintain dominance and stability in the Saxon Shore. The victory at Saxon Shore opened a new chapter in the history of the Carolingian Empire. Charlemagne became one of the most powerful kings of the Middle Ages, and Brittany became an important part of his territory. Political, military, and cultural reforms under Charlemagne brought prosperity and development to the region. Charlemagne's rule at the Saxon Shore created a solid foundation for the subsequent expansion of the Carolingian Empire. His reforms and achievements in building a strong and unified empire left a deep and lasting mark, influencing European history for centuries to come. The battle at Saxon Shore in 774 was not only an important military event, but also marked a turning point in European history. It consolidated Charlemagne's power and laid the foundation for the development of the Carolingian Empire. Charlemagne's legacy and his victories, including the battle at the Saxon Shore, have profoundly influenced European history, reshaping the political and cultural map of the continent for centuries to come. His reforms and achievements in building a strong and unified empire left a deep and lasting mark. Charlemagne's steadfastness and strategic vision made him one of Europe's greatest historical figures.